There we are live. We don't have a sign yet. I changed our name. It is Winning Roles with Brian. You know, that's what I talk about all the time. I talk about finding the roles that you need to play to be successful. We always talk about being a real estate winner. I am a real estate winner. What does that mean? Well, you need to define what that role means to you. For some people, real estate winner means owning two rental homes. And that is, they are a super real estate winner in their mind. You know, they're super successful. For some people, they want 20 rental homes. That in their mind is a real estate winner. So you need to sort of define your roles in life. You play the role of mother or father. Certainly you played the role of son or daughter. And you know, how did you play that role? And it changes throughout the years, doesn't it? As you age and your parents age, the role of son or daughter goes through a lot of different changes. So we talk about playing roles, and I came up with this idea of role control back in 2018. And over the last 8 years, I've been working on putting together this system. And I had never had quite the right name for it until 2 days ago. And I realized that's the perfect name. So it's Winning Roles is the name of the system. And I want you to play all the winning roles in your life. Real estate winner, happy mom, happy dad, loving parent, every relationship in your life, whatever you says on your business card, that's a role that you play for that company. So are you happy in that role that you play? If you have a regular job, are you happy in that role that you play for that company? And then that role has a whole bunch of sub roles because you're working with people. When you're talking to your boss, are you playing a different role than if you're talking to you're an employee or somebody who you're supervising? Absolutely. So I want you to be very aware of the different roles that you play. And I'm even going to give you something called the role chart where you can define your roles. I used to call it the role definition chart, but I decided we don't need that word definition. It is the role chart that explains and defines your role. And so you can create a role chart for any role that you play, and it has traits and duties and schedule and memory matrix, what memories you want to think of when you're playing that role to get you in the right mindset. So we're all about playing winning roles in life, personally and professionally. So professionally, what roles do you play on a closing call? That's an interesting one. The roles on a closing call, at some point in the beginning of the call, you're a business professional. You're a local business owner, okay? And you're coming off, credible and confident and, hi, I'm interested in buying your house. So you're coming off as a business professional, credible local business owner. But then once you get past that part and start asking them questions and you want to charm them a little bit, you have to switch into friendly neighbor. So remember, write these roles down and think about these as you're doing your closing calls. Again, in the beginning, your business professional. After that, you are friendly neighbor. And that's when you say, just so you know a little bit about us. Just so you know a little bit about us, we buy and sell houses all around the country. We've been doing it for 20 years. We love helping people. Whatever your story is. Okay. So that's where you turn on the charm and you make a joke. Lynette always says, yes. So remember, my name is Lynette Wolf, Wolf like the animal. Oh, and she'll howl or she'll say, but don't worry, I'm not an animal. And so she's building a little rapport there, a little charm. She's turning into a friendly neighbor because we're trying to turn the seller into friendly neighbor. Right now, most sellers that you call, especially FSBOs, they're what we call skeptical sellers. They're in that skeptical seller role. And the reason is because they think they can sell their house themselves. They don't need an agent. So they must think they're pretty smart. So they're going to be real kind of sharp, skeptical type person, tend to be, not always. But so you have to kind of snap them out of that. So how do you snap them out of that? You trigger them. You say a verbal trigger like, just so you know a little bit about us. Oh, I love dogs. Okay, that's a verbal trigger. If you say, I love dogs. If you hear their dog and say, I love dogs, what does that trigger them? That triggers them into loving pet owner. So if you can get him into loving pet owner, if you can get him to start talking about their dog or cat or whatever they have, that is a winning role to play with them. Not the whole call. Eventually you have to get back into closing the deal, but for taking 5 minutes to talk about dogs is a really good idea, because you charm them, you build a separate relationship from just the business relationship. So then the business relationship, you get back to that, and then you turn into a deal maker. Actually, there's a few different roles you can play when you're doing the negotiating part. But remember, you got to figure out those 4 deal points. What are the 4 deal points? Purchase price, monthly payment, length of term, and down payment. So those are the 4. Purchase price, monthly payment, length of term, and down payment. So those 4 things, you have to figure them out. So Lynette loves deal maker roles. She loves getting into that. Just read the scripts, guys. You don't have to be a genius deal maker. Just read the scripts and you're a great negotiator. I like to be a great negotiator. I like to see myself as a great negotiator. I also like to see myself as a good shepherd. Sometimes, hey, selling your house is a challenging, difficult, emotionally trying process. And so I want you to be able to feel good about it and get through that process in a positive way. And so I shepherd you through the process. I'm a good shepherd. You know who else was a good shepherd? Martin Luther King Jr. So today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and he was a good shepherd to his people. In fact, he was trying to help them play different roles, have new roles to play. A lot of people in our country were forcing African-American people into certain roles. They had to ride in the back of the bus, he was trying to help us change the way we look at our roles in society. And that's exactly what his goal was to have everybody holding hands and be free together and everybody be equal. Okay, well, that's not the way it is, unfortunately, but let's that's a very noble cause to strive for, having everybody have equality in this country and being able to play that role of an equal member of society. Right? Isn't that a great goal? Sure. And so that's what he was trying to do, was helping people with their roles, helping people change roles. I'm telling you, you can look at anything in the world through this prism of role playing, because you're always playing a role. What am I playing role right now? I'm playing earnest, good-hearted, trainer, because I really care about your guys' success and I really want you to succeed. And that's why I do these, and I want you to be helpful. And I really want to help you play winning roles in your life. And if I can give you a couple of tips that help you play that role better, I'm like a director. I'm like the director. And in real estate, I even give you the scripts. In our what to say and what to do system, I'm the screenwriter and the director, for your success. And so watch all those videos. Remember, all those videos for the what to say system, we have videos of every scenario of everything you're going to have to say to sellers and buyers and all the objection answers and everything. And if you can watch us role playing them out in roles, sometimes that helps you play the right role, right? A great script helps you play the right role. All right, so a lot of great things to talk about today, but Martin Luther King Jr., let's say a nice prayer for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and helping everybody achieve equality, right? Good, grand rising. Okay, not good, but grand. I'm up for that. I like Roger's. Awesome. Way to go, Roger. Happy Monday. Isabel, how you doing? Tony, it also helps if you have certain areas in your house where you focus on certain roles. It's a great point. Remember how things are triggers. So certain areas of certain places trigger certain roles. So if you like to go hang out at a neighborhood bar with your buddies, that's going to trigger certain roles, right? And so you're going to play certain roles when you're at your favorite bar. Same thing, you're going to play certain roles when you're in your office. So that's why it is nice, like Tony says, to have a separate space and separate area where when you go there, I'm playing this role of winning closing caller, because that's where I make my calls, of real estate winner. I'm playing all those successful real estate roles at that point. Even diligent paperwork manager. Everybody needs that role. And you may not think that, you may hate paperwork. Well, tough. You have to develop this role called diligent paperwork manager, because you got to get good at the paperwork. And once you get your confidence on the paperwork, once you fill it out a couple of times, it's not that complicated. The purchase and sales agreement just isn't that complicated. So but yes, that's part of your role. You definitely need to play that role of paperwork completer, filler outer, manager, whatever you want to call it, administrator, administrative ace. That's a role you can play, administrative ace. In fact, some of you maybe play that role in your regular job. You're really good at the paperwork and the administration part of it. Okay, well, you can use that in your real estate investing business. Use that administrative ace role that you're already good at. Apply that. That's why sometimes people are natural entrepreneurs. If they've had the right experience as an employee, they can kind of shift into this entrepreneur role a little more easily and comfortably. Other people have a terrible time with it. And you know what it is? It's the schedule. Why do people have trouble playing the role of real estate winner? Mostly time discipline. I hate to say that because it seems like such an easy thing to do is just stick to your schedule. But that's people's hardest thing. They have trouble sticking to their schedule because sometimes you're going to feel fear. Sometimes it's going to be scary to pick up that phone, and people don't want to feel fear. They want to avoid fear at all costs. Some people, guys, you want to embrace fear. You want to say, I love fear because it gets my heart beating fast. It gets me excited, gets me revved up. You know, if I have a little fear in my heart, it means I'm alive. I'm a living person and I'm challenging myself. So those are all positive ways to think about it. And that's what I do when I give you guys role programming, which I'm going to give you a whole bunch of role programming so you can play winning roles. That's what our role control program is all about. It's called Winning Role Program. So guys, I want you to play all the best roles. I want you to play them easily. I want you to be aware of your triggers. And if you all of a sudden shift roles, if you were in a good mood and all of a sudden, boom, you're in a bad mood, you better look around and what triggered you? What did somebody say? Specifically, what was the exact words, or what did you see, or what did somebody bump into you or that triggered that? Whatever that role shift. Whenever you shifted into that negative role. Once this happened to me on a pickleball court and I didn't even realize what happened. I was playing and I was really into it and I was playing really good and I was in my winning pickleballer role. And then this guy accidentally, we both went for the same ball and he smacked my hand with his paddle. And it just changed my whole role. And I got kind of mad. I said, it switches your role. So there's all those triggers. Just be aware. That's role control, is being aware of triggers. Really what role control is trigger control. Knowing your triggers and actually selecting triggers. So it's time for me to be in my real estate winner role. I'm going to ring this bell. Seriously, like Pavlov's dogs. Every time you ring the bell, you make your best call. And then after the call, you ring the bell again. I'm telling you, if you do that, it'll get to the point where all you got to do is ring the bell and you'll say, let me at that phone. Okay, so you can condition yourself. It's called operant conditioning, but you can condition yourself for success when you understand how roles work. Okay, so all great. You guys always have such good notes. Yes, and so remember, places can be triggers. Write that down in your notes. Places can trigger you. And you know what? In your places, like by your desk, put a bunch of affirmation signs. Like, I am a real estate winner. Those are all little triggers for you, okay? On certain clothes, absolutely. Yeah, Clark Kent rips off his suit and he's in his Superman suit and he turns into Superman. And so yes, clothes make the man. In fact, we had one student who, even when he was sitting at home making his calls, he would put on a tie, okay? And nobody was going to see him. He wasn't doing video chats. He would literally put on dress shoes and a tie and dress pants and a belt and dress up to make his phone calls. And that would just get him in the right role. And he said mindset. That gets me in the right mindset. Well, what's he talking about? He's talking about a role. He's talking about playing the right role and having that right kind of mentality to play the role the best. So yes, clothes are absolutely major triggers. And every role chart has a section that says wardrobe. So yes, every role chart you fill out, you will write what this role wears. Now, some roles the wardrobe isn't that important, but what if you're a nurse? What if you're playing the role of nurse as a profession? You better have the right wardrobe. Same thing with a police officer. And then you've got other stuff too. You got your gun, you got your other stuff, your mace and everything else. So you got some roles come with a bunch of accessories like a Barbie. You got a whole bunch of roles, a whole bunch of accessories with Beach Barbie or whatever it is, whatever role you play, you probably have some accessories. And even when you see the accessories or pick up the accessory for that role, boom, what happens? You snap into the role, okay? So that's why you got to be aware of those triggers. Happy Monday. What a great picture. I love that picture. Okay, you truly are earnest and good-hearted. Well, isn't that sweet to hear? So yes, earnest and good-hearted. So guys, make roles like that. I'm an earnest real estate investor because I really want to help my people, help my customers. I'm a good-hearted real estate investor. And I am. I mean, that's the way I approach the business. Some people don't really, they're more wheeler dealers like Lynette. That's fine. That's fine. She doesn't let me near renters who have sob stories because I'm way too susceptible. But sellers, that can work really good with sellers. If you can have a sympathetic ear and show empathy to a seller, it can bond them with you, and they don't want to sell to anyone else. Okay. Mary, diligent paperwork manager, winning closing call maker. Yes, love it. Those are, you got it. You got the idea of roles. Guys, how do you choose a role? You make up you tell the role like you're a caller. You're making calls now. So you're a caller. That's your role. But what kind of caller are you? Are you a nervous newbie caller? I hope not. Or are you a confident winner caller? Confident caller. Just those two words. You need to make a role. You need an adjective and a noun, whatever confident caller. That's a great role. I am a confident caller. Now remember, every role has triggers, but you're going to make up trigger affirmations and trigger gestures for your favorite role. So right now, if you want to be the best caller possible, master caller, think right now, what is a trigger gesture you can do every time? Maybe it's, seriously, you can have, but it's got to be unique. It can't be clapping your hands because you clap your hands for other things. Okay, so clapping your hands can be a trigger if you do it a certain way. But Carol Burnett used to tug on her earlobe. That could be a trigger. Anything that's unique. Going like this on your hand, that could be a trigger, whatever you want to make the trigger. But usually it's good if you tie it to something emotional. Obviously I like to pump my fist, but I can't pump my fist for every single trigger. So you got to make up some different ones. So that's what's good. Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. That's a great trigger. I am a happy caller. Smiles are a big trigger too. Don't forget, you should smile whenever you say your affirmations as well. Okay, time harnessing energizer. Wow, there you go. That's a good one. Or just good time manager. I love it when you guys get juicy with your adjectives and your nouns. But don't overcomplicate it where you forget your names and stuff. Role clarity has also been important, as Angie and I have different roles in our business and we focus on them. Yes. And if you are working in the business as a couple like Tony and Angie are, then it's something called division of labor. And so each different action step in the business requires kind of a different set of skills, a different skill set. And I used to think I was much better on the phone than Lynette, just because I was really good on the phone. I used to do all the calls in front of the live audiences and stuff. And then Lynette just got really good at it. And I stopped doing it. She started doing the calls on stage and they started going really well. And we said, why don't you do them from now on, Lynette? And then I can kind of talk in between. And so then you'll be, dialing up people and I can explain what happened on that last call while you're dialing the next one. And so that turned out to be a great deal. But she was not good. She was scared in the beginning to make calls. So she had to embrace that role of, she's an Energizer Bunny closing caller. She's also a killer closer. She's really good at sensing the close and going for the close. So that's good. Yes, and if you have both of you, make a role division so you understand you're better as master caller, I'm better as paperwork manager, as diligent paperwork manager. Winning role program, trigger good habits and choices. Exactly. You got it. Role clarity. I like that. Now there's a couple other things called role conflict and role congruence. Role conflict is when you're trying to play a role that just doesn't fit and you can't make it fit. But that's the thing. You don't have to be this killer deal maker like Lynette. You can be more like a good shepherd. So you don't have to play the role of killer assassin, closer, if that's not you. That may not be you. So you kind of approach it in a different way. You're helping them with their house choices. You're a good shepherd helping them through this process. And remember, you can always play good presenter. You can just get good at the script and just be a good presenter and just present the closing call like a speech and be good at it and be good with the objection answers. And that will get you through. Even if you don't have that deal maker personality or that good shepherd personality, just being a good presenter is important. Okay, so thank you guys. Lots of great comments today. Role control, trigger control. Yes, boy, a lot of good comment. I like that comment a lot because she's got operant conditioning in there. Role control equals controlling your triggers, understanding your triggers. Morning, Charles. Great to see you. When I wake up this morning, fears flooded me, and thankfully I jumped into Brian morning mode and went through those steps: smile, gratitudes, happy, stretch, and excited about the day, thoughts, affirmations, yes, and visualization. Remember, you can always use visualization. And guys, are we all subject to feeling afraid and waking up sometimes? And Monday mornings used to be the worst for me before I really figured out role control. I used to always have, I don't know, and for some reason, Monday, the start of a new week, it seemed a little scary to me. But now I play the right roles because I have role control, so I can control my mind, and that's what role control gives you. That's what understanding your roles gives you. It gives you control of your thoughts and control of your emotions, because you can just trigger another role. And I'm telling you, you cannot play depressed, hopeless pessimist if you're got a big smile on your face and you're jumping up and down. It's impossible. It literally is physically impossible to play a depressed role when you got a big smile and you're jumping around. So that's why role control works, because you can always do a trigger and an affirmation. Nothing is stopping you if you can't, unless you can't talk, but you can think it. You can think your affirmations and they work the same. I'm a real estate winner. Just think it in your head. So a lot of great comments today. Like I said, boy, a lot of comments. Save the day. Think like Brian. That's good. Okay, think Brian role. That's right. Master problem solver. That's good. Master problem solver. That's excellent. I like that one a lot. We used to say me after it, but we don't really say that anymore. So, but master problem solver. I am a master problem solver, and that can apply to real estate or fixer. You could say I'm a clever fixer. That's actually one of mine, because my dad was really smart with fixing stuff. He'd just take it apart and look at it and sort of figure out what would look like it was broken, what was in two pieces. And so he used to fix my old movie projectors when I was making movies, and I could never figure out how he'd do it. He said, I asked him once, I said, how do you fix this? I mean, you don't have a manual or anything. And back in the day, you couldn't just go on YouTube and look up a video. So he just said, I take it all apart and I just look at it. And then, it's usually pretty obvious what's wrong. And then I fix it or get a piece, put the new piece in there and put it back together. And, guys, it's not that hard to be a fixer. So that's been very helpful to me. I'm definitely a fixer. Master caller. Yes, master caller. I love that. Love Carol Burnett. Yeah. Ring a bell. Yes. And that can actually be your programming, guys. If you have a really, really, really good call right when you hang up, you should do a trigger. You should do some trigger to ground those emotions that you're feeling right in that moment, so you can bring those emotions back. That's also called an anchor sometimes. Tony Robbins will call certain things anchors. Okay, as an investor entrepreneur couple, we have noticed roles evolve and change. Yes, they definitely do. Definitely do as you get through the business and as you grow. And sometimes you assign roles to others. Do you want to be an opening caller? Do you want to be an enthusiastic opening caller? Because that's what you want. Do you want whoever's doing your opening calls, you'd like them to be enthusiastic and friendly. So are you going to be a friendly opening caller, an enthusiastic opening caller, or should you delegate that role to someone else? And can you find someone who would be good in that role of enthusiastic and friendly opening caller? And if you can, then, that might be one of the roles in your business that you can get away with delegating. Okay. No one should be mourning right now. Okay, so guys, let's have an awesome day, and let's play winning roles today and forever and ever. And so and let's also remember and say a kind word and a kind thought for Martin Luther King Jr., who was trying to help his people play stronger and happier roles and more safe roles in this world. So I'm playing winning roles. I play winning roles. Okay, that's our affirmation for today. Let's say it 3 times on 3. I play winning roles. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I play winning roles. I play winning roles. I play winning roles. Yes. All right, now 3 deep breaths. 1 deep breath in. Okay, big smile. Let it go. Okay, another one. Hold it in a little bit and let it go. Okay, one more. Great. Okay. Awesome comments today, everybody. It was a little bit long today, but I like questions. I like you guys chiming in. It's always fun, and it's great when we have lots of interaction. And today was a great subject, so lots of fun to talk about. So until I talk to you on Friday, keep expecting success. That's a great affirmation right there. I expect success. I expect success. Keep taking action and keep getting awesome training right here. Great messages as always. Have a great week. Yes, everybody. Everybody have a great week. I will see you guys on Friday. Keep expecting success, getting great training, and taking